Welcome to Retech Solution Python Programming. This is a day 3 class. In this session, we're going to cover the remaining data types and data structures. Okay, let's move on to the class. Today's class. In previous classes, we have seen text types and a numeric type in data types, and also the operators in Python. In today's class, we're going to see sequence type and another data types. Okay, the first sequence type is a list. Okay, list is nothing but of a collection of ordered and changeable items. Okay, it is a collection of different types of data which is ordered and changeable. Ordered means it is aligned in a index position. Every items in the list has a specific index value. Okay, it is represented with a square bracket. Okay, list was represented using a square bracket, and list allows duplicate members. Okay, it will allow duplicate values in the list. Okay, collection of different data types. That's it. Okay, and this is an example of a list, and we will see the list example with some examples. Okay, I'm using Ripple. It's an online editor. You can use anything you want. First, I'm going to creating the list. Okay, first, before we creating list, we should create a variable. I'm creating a variable num in the name of a num, and I'm creating a list using a square bracket. To create a list, first we must create a square bracket. Okay, and then I'm going to wrap my values inside this square bracket. Okay, first I'm going to value 1, 2, 3. Okay, next it's going to be hi, hello, okay. My next value will be a float 5.5, 7.7, 9.9, and my next value will be complex 9j, 8i, 8j, like this. Okay, if I print using the type function to know that what the type of the numbers, okay, we get a class of list. Okay, so this is the way, this is a valid Python way to creating a list. Okay, now you see that in this list we have a numbers, and we have a string, and we also have a floating point numbers, and also a complex number, and it is a valid list. Okay, list is a collection of data, different type of data types, and it is in order. Okay, if I print num without the type function, I'm going to print the num value. We will get the output like this. Okay, this is nothing but of different data types which is comma separated. Okay, every data type has been separated only by the comma. If you don't have the comma, means it will take this both as a single value. Okay, spaces also doesn't matter, it will throw an error. Okay, every value, the value is separated using a comma. Okay, and indexing of a list starts from 0. Indexing of a list starts from 0 to 1. Okay, it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be a 4. This will be a 5. This will be a 6. This will be 7, like that. Okay, the indexing starts from 0 to the end. Okay, and also the negative index, our list also supports negative index, and the negative index starts from -1. Okay, as we see in the previous module strings, negative index also, list also has negative indexing, it starts from 0. Okay, now this is a basic concept of the list. Now we will perform some methods using the list. Okay, inbuilt method. Okay, the first thing we're going to see is accessing an item. Okay, accessing an item in a list. Okay, to access an item, if see, we have a multiple values in the list, but what if I want a particular value from the list? Okay, for example, I want this hi, hello, and I want to print it in my console. Means simply I can grab that using print statement. I'm going to print it. Okay, and I'm going to call the name of the list. Here the name of the list is a num. Okay, I'm going to call the name of the list, and I'm going to open my square brackets, and I'm going to pass the value I want to took. Okay, so in this scenario I'm going to get high. Okay, I'm passing high, and if I run this code, sorry, I'm going to pass the okay. Now I'm going to access an item from the list. Okay, to access an item from the list, I'm going to calling the print function. Okay, and then I'm calling the name of the list. Okay, in this scenario the name of the list is num, and I'm opening the square bracket, and I'm calling the index value that I want to grab. Okay, in this scenario I'm going to grab the high function. The index value of the high is 3. Okay, I'm going to grab the high variable. Sorry, the index value of the high variable is 3. Okay, I'm going to call this 3, and my output will be printed in the console. Okay, you see that I just got the high alone. Okay, this is where we can access an item from a list. Okay, and we can also access a multiple items also. Okay, I'm going to grab from 3 and 4. We can also access our item using a negative index also. Okay, for example, I want the last number of this list, means simply I can use -1, and I will get the last number of my list. Okay, and using this, this is a method called accessing an item. We can access an item taking a particular single item. Okay, we can only get the single item from a list using this method. Okay, this is called accessing item in a list. Okay. Okay, next type of method is accessing, slicing in a list. Okay, I want a particular portion of the list. For example, I want this high string portions alone in the list. Means what I'm going to do is simply I'm going to call the index value of the first string high is 3, and I'm going to call the end of the string is 6. Okay, I'm going to grab the value from the index 3 to 6. Okay, if I print this, look at the particular value of this string. This is called string slicing. Okay, this method is called string slicing. To perform this method, I'm going to call the starting index value and also the ending value of the index. Okay, which I'm going to grab. Okay, in this scenario we have a 5 as an ending value, but the thing is I'm going to grab from 3 to 5. Okay, but for doing this I should increment a value to this. Okay, if I put 5 means it will grab up to the hello only. Hi and hello will be printed, but the word will not be printed because it will stop when it reaches in the position of 5. Okay, if I want this to means I must increment a single increment a number. Okay, like this. Okay, if I want to print entire string after the 3. Okay, if I want to print the entire list after the 3. Okay, I want to print the string, I want to print the list after hi. Okay, hi, hello world 5.5 and 7 means I can simply make it like this. It will print the entire string at the end. Okay, from starting of the index what I specified to the end of the index. Okay, because the end of the index I was not specifying it any values, and Python defaultly took it as an end value. Okay, it will print up to the end of the list. Okay, this is called list slicing. Okay, next thing is change an item of a value. Okay, next part is changing an item of a list. Okay, what if I want to change a particular value from the list? For example, I want to change this 1 2 3 num to next set of 4 5 and 6 means I'm going to change. I'm going to call the name of the list, it's num, and I'll open the bracket, and I'm going to call the index value. It will be a 0, and I'm going to change it to 4, like that. Okay, if I print this, now if I print the num, have changed the 0, I mean 1 value to the 4. Now I'm printing the list. You can see here the value of 1 has been changed to 4. This way we can change a item of a value, item of a list. Okay, single value of a list. Okay, I'm changing the value of the index using the index position. Okay, we can't change the value using a, we can change the only value using a index position. Okay, this process is called change the item value in a list. Okay, next thing is a looping. Okay, if I print the num means if I print the num, it will, if I print the num, it will give an output like this as a list. But what if we want a iteration of the list? What if we want to get a single value? Okay, separate value of a list. For this process, we can loop. Okay, we can use a loop function. Okay, we will see the loop in depth in our upcoming classes. Okay, for this I'm going to take a basic of a loop. It's a for loop. Okay, for I in num print num. Okay, by this method we can iterate the list. Sorry, I printed num. Okay, now you say we got line by line of the list. Okay, value by value of the list. Okay, this is called loop through in a list. I mean iteration of a list. Okay, iterating a single value in a list. Okay, instead of getting a list as an our output, we will get a single value as an output. Okay, we can perform this method using a loop in our list functions. Okay. Okay, next method is we're gonna use how to find a len of a list. Okay, we have a set of values in the list. I want to know what is the length of the list, how many characters are in the list present, how many characters are present in the list. For this method, I can use an inbuilt function in the Python that's called len. Okay, I'm going to print function and I'm going to call the len function. Okay, the len is an inbuilt function which is used to return the number of item in a container. Okay, container means in our class it may be a list or maybe a string. We can use this len function even in a string also. Okay, in this I'm using the len function in my list. Okay, I'm going to call this. You see that we have 11 characters in our list. Okay, we ended with an 8. We have a 11 character in our list. Okay, this way we can find the len of a list. Okay, length of the list. Okay, you may notice that in a len function it returns a value of 11, but in our indexing position we have only the value of 10 only. Okay, you see that we have only value of 10. Okay. Okay, this is a difference between an index position and a len function. Okay, length of a variable. The index starts from the 0, but the index starts from the 0, but the len function starts from the normal value, normal counting value. It returns only what is the length of the container. Okay, not the index position of the container, but we have 11 characters in the list. Okay, it will start the index and the length function start from 1, 2, 3 only. 1, 2, 3 only. Okay. You may notice that in a len function it returns a value of 11. Okay, but in our index value we will get a value of 10 only, because index value starts from the 0, but the len function starts from the 1, because the len returns the characters. Okay, number of characters in the list. Okay, this is the difference between the index and the length of the function. Okay, index is just a position. Okay, length is the number of characteristics. Okay. Next process is adding a data. Okay, we have seen accessing an item in the list and also change the value of the list. But what if I want to add an additional data to my list? Okay, for this function I can have an inbuilt method called append. Okay, for this I'm going to call the name of my list num dot append. I'm going to call the function append function, and I'm going to pass the parameter that I want to add. Okay, in this scenario I'm going to add a string new. Okay, and then I'm printing my list. One second. I think it has been, yeah, you can see now the new character and a new string is added to our list, okay, using this append function, okay, and the character is added at the end of the string, okay. This way we can add a string to a add a character extra value to our list, okay, using the append inbuilt append function, okay. And what if I want to add a particular value in a particular index value? For example, I want to add a 4 after a 3. Okay. For this function, we can use an inbuilt function called insert. Okay. There is another function like append. It's named as insert. Okay. I'm gonna call the variable name of my list dot insert. Insert, it's an inbuilt function. I'm going to pass two parameters here, okay. The first parameter will be index value, in which position you want to add the number. In this scenario, I'm going to add 4. I'm going to add a value of 4 in the index value of 4. The value will be 4, okay. And I'm going to print the list. Wait, my editor has been uploading, okay, just a second. It has been done. Okay, I just made a mistake, I think, so it should be 3, index value must be 3, but I added the 4 value in the mid of a list, okay, but the thing is I want to add 4 next to 3, okay, here been. You see that now I have inserted the value of 4 in index position of 3. Okay, it will be 0, 1, 2 and 3. At the index position of 3, I add the value of 4. Okay, this way we can add a particular value, single value to a list in a particular position. Okay, make sure the difference between append and insert. Append will insert a single value at the end of a string, okay, end of the list, okay, but the insert function will insert a value at a particular index value that you specify. Okay, this is the difference between append and insert. Both of them adding a new value to a list, but the append only added the value at the end of the list, but the insert function will add at any position you want. Okay. Next, we have seen adding a value. Now we are going to see how to remove a value. Okay. To remove value, we have an inbuilt function like append and insert. We have an inbuilt function called remove. Okay, I'm going to call the name of the list dot remove. Now I'm going to in this type. Okay, in previous example we have seen that in appending we use the variable. Okay, in the remove I'm going to call the variable that I want to remove. In this scenario, I just want to remove the new character that I have inserted now. Okay, I'm going to remove those new character, new value. Okay, I'm going to remove the value new. Okay, now I'm printing this, printing my list. You can see that the new value has been removed. Okay, this way we can remove a value from a list. Okay, the remove function does not need an index value like that. Okay, we're gonna call the value that we want to remove using the remove function. Okay, just call the value. Here I want to remove the new value. Okay, new is a character that was present in my list. Okay, I have been appended it and I'm removing it using the remove function. This way we can remove a value from a list. Okay, we have also another options. Okay, we have also another options for removing the list. Another one is a pop. The pop is nothing but of removing okay, I'm gonna call my name of my list num dot pop. Okay, and I'm gonna print num. You see that I'm not passing any value to the pop function. Okay, inbuilt pop. It's a pop is an inbuilt function. I'm not passing any value to it. Okay, but it removes the end value. Okay, the pop will remove the final output. Pop is nothing but of popping out the last value from a list. Okay, throwing it out of the list. Okay, that's what the pop is doing. Okay, pop will remove the last item of a list. Okay, we can also specify a value to it. Okay, Okay, we can also remove the item using an index position also. For a scenario, I'm going to remove the 1 from my list, and the value of the index position of the 1 is 0, and it has been removed. 1 has been removed. Okay, pop, using a pop, we can also remove the item from a particular index also. Okay. Okay. Next remove method is I'm going to comment this pop method, and also I'm going to comment this new method also. Okay. Next method, next is in del. Okay, del is also similar to remove and pop. I'm going to call the name of the value. I'm going to call the del like this, and a num, and I'm going to pass the value. Okay, here I'm passing 1, and I'm going to print num. You see that the index position 1 has been removed. Okay, this way we can also remove a value from a list. Okay. Del is also used. Okay, we can't give an empty value to a list. Okay, we can't give an empty value to a del. Okay, we can give an empty value to a del to remove a list. Okay, to remove an item from a list, we should specify the index value. Okay, there is a 3 method to remove an item value from a list. Okay, the first one is a remove. Okay, which remove, and it takes an input value as a input. Okay, and next is a pop. Pop will pop the last value of a list if we don't specify a value. If I specify the index value, it removes the particular value from that index. Del is similar to pop, but we should specify the index value. It will remove the value that corresponding to the index. Okay, this is the difference between remove, pop, and del. Okay, these are the inbuilt functions used to perform some methods in a list. Okay. Next is what if I want to add more number of values to my list. Okay, for example, I want to add multiple values to my list, means I can use another inbuilt function that's called extend. Okay, I'm going to call my name of my function dot extend. I'm going to open the parenthesis, and I'm going to call the number. I'm going to call the value that I want to add. Okay, in this scenario, I'm going to add 5, 6, 7. Okay. And I'm going to print the list. You see that we have extended our list with the new values like 5, 6, and 7. Okay, this way we can add multiple values to our list. Okay. Okay, these are the methods we can perform using a list. First method is an accessing item. To access a particular item in a list, we can use an accessing item method to access an item, and also we can append a single value to a list, or also we can use an insert method to insert a particular value in a particular index value. Okay, and next is we can use a remove, pop, and then del item to remove a value from a list, and we can also the extend method to add a bulk number to our project to our list. Okay, bulk object to our list. Okay, next method is nested list. Okay, what if we have a list inside a list? Okay, I'm going to comment everything here. I'm going to this, and I'm going to wrap every types in a list. Okay, now you see this is also a valid list, but it is called a nested list. Nested is nothing but of a list inside a list. We have a 4 different type of lists inside this list. In here we have this list will be in the index position of 0, and this list will be in index position of 1. Okay, and inside this it will have a separate index position. Okay, this is called a nested list. Okay, we want to move on to tuples. Okay. Okay, these are the columns you have seen here, and the next will be a tuple. Okay, tuple is nothing but of a collection of item which is ordered and unchangeable. Okay, the difference between a tuple and a list is list is an ordered and unchangeable. We can change the value. Okay, we seen that we can change the value of a particular index, or we can change the value of that. But in tuple, we can't change the value of the value. We can't change the value. Okay, that's the issue. The main difference between the tuple and the list is tuple is also an ordered one, but it is unchangeable. We can't change the value in this. Okay, in Python, tuples are written with a round brackets. Okay, it's called a parenthesis. It's called a round brackets. Collection of different data types allows, and duplicate members. Okay, duplicate members is nothing but of repeating the same value. Okay. Okay, let's see this. What of this slide is explains. Let us assign a tuple. We will see this in a practical example. Okay. I'm creating a new tuple. It will be a value of num underscore 1. Tuples are created using a parenthesis. Round brackets. Okay, I'm going to pass some values here. I'm going to pass 1, 2, 3 as the same value I've given in the list. It will be a string, it will be another string, and it will be another string. Okay. Okay, I'm going to printing num1. We can see this is a valid tuple. Okay, what is, I'm going to print the type of this. You see, it is a type of tuple. Okay, it's a class of tuple. Okay, and this method, this is a valid Python method to creating a tuple. Okay. 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 Since tuple is unordered, okay, tuple is ordered, but it is unchangeable. We can't perform we can't perform any other methods in a tuple. Like that, we can't perform adding a item to a tuple. We can't remove a list. We can't remove a value from the tuple. Once we created a tuple, it will be like this. Okay, we can't alter or we can't change anything. We can't add any value to the tuple. Okay, it will be a standard static value. We can't change or we can't remove the value of the tuple. This is it was a main plus and also a main disadvantages in the tuple. We can use the tuple for storing some password like that. Okay, because we can't able to change that, we can also add or remove the value from the tuple. Okay, that's the main advantage, and also it has been a main disadvantages for tuple also. Our next data type will be a set. Okay, set. Okay, set is nothing but of collection of data which is unordered and unindexed. Okay, unordered means it doesn't have any ordered due to the unordered capability. It doesn't have any index value to it. Okay, set is set of a random values. Okay, it has a set of random index value. Every time we add a set, it doesn't support an index to it. Okay, set is created using a curly bracket. Okay, in list we use a square bracket, and tuple we use a circle, parenthesis. In set we are using a curly bracket. Okay, it also has a collection of data types, and the set doesn't allow a duplicate values. Okay, the main difference from set and the list and tuple is set doesn't allow duplicate values, and it doesn't have any index value. Okay, once set is created, cannot be changed. Only we can add a data. Okay, due to we don't have any set is unindexed, we can't change the value, but we can add a data to a set. Okay, we will see that set with a practical example. I'm going to create a set with a curly bracket. okay, and I'm gonna pass a value. Okay, you can see that I'm gonna passing two times. Okay, I'm gonna passing two times, and I will pass it to 3 also, and I'm gonna passing different. Okay, this is my set. Okay, if I print type num2, we get that it is a class of set. Okay, this is a valid Python method for creating a set. Now if I print the set, okay, you can see that we have printed in this order, but the output was in this order. Okay, the order has been changed. Okay, this is why it's called, it is unordered, and also it removes the negative value. Okay, we have seen that 2 has been repeated 3 times. Okay, but it takes 2 only 1 time. Okay, it doesn't repeat the value. But if I give the value in a string, it will take that value because it's in another type. Okay, the type of, this is an integer and this is a string. Okay, there is a difference between them, and that's why the set take it as a valid value. Okay, but the another 2 has been removed because it is a duplicate value, and you can see that once again the order has been changed. Okay, every time I call the set, the order has been changing. Okay, that's why it's called unordered. Due to this function only, we can't have a negative, an index value to a set. Okay, okay, now we will add data to our set. Okay, how to add a data to a set? Okay, we can use a inbuilt function called add to add a data to a set. Okay, okay, I'm gonna see the method how to add a value to a set. Okay, for this I'm going to use an inbuilt method called add. Okay, first I'm going to call the name of my set num2, and I'm going to call the inbuilt function add. I'm going to pass the value. Okay, not the index. I'm going to pass the value that I want to add. In this I'm going to add a value of 5 to it. Okay, and if I print the num2, if I print the set, the value has been successfully added. Okay, this way we can add a single value to a set. Okay, and next method of adding, adding a more than one value. In this method we can add only one value at a time. Okay, multiple values to a set. For doing that, what is update method do is, it will basically combine two different set, okay, to a single set. For example, I'm going to create a new set with a variable name as num3, and it has a value of 5, 6, 7, and it has a value of 2 also. Okay, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to combine this num3 value to my num2 set. Okay, I'm going to add this number, a bulk value, to my set. Okay, for this I'm going to call my first set num2, to which I'm going to add, and I'm going to call the function update, and I'm going to, in the parameter, I'm going to pass the value. Okay, I'm going to pass the second set, I'm going to add to it num3. Okay, and I'm going to print the output num2. I'm going to print the output. Okay, you can see that the value of 5, 6 and 7 had been added, and also the value 2 is a duplicate number and it has been removed. Okay, this way we can add a multiple value, okay, bulk value to a set, okay, using an update method. Okay, okay, till now we have seen how to add an update in a set, and now we are going to see how to remove a value from a set. Okay, for this I can use an inbuilt method, another inbuilt method called remove. I'm going to call my set num2 dot remove. Okay, and I'm going to pass the value. Okay, I'm going to pass the data I want to remove. For this I'm passing the value of 7, that I'm going to remove the value 7 from it, and I'm going to print num2. Okay, the value 7 has been removed. Okay, this way we can remove the data, single data from a set. Okay, what if I given a value that has been not presented in the my set not presented in my set means it will throw an error because then the value 8 has not been presented in my set value. Okay, it doesn't matches with the data of my set. Okay, if we use this type of method, it will throw an error. This is an alternate for this. Okay, what if I want to remove a value, but if it doesn't means it should not throw an error. If the value I've specified is not given in the set means it should not throw an error to me. Okay, for this type of method, I can use another function called discard. Okay, I'm gonna call my tuple name num2 dot discard, and I'm gonna pass the value to it. Okay, as 8. Okay, and I'm gonna print num2. Now you can see that I'm discarding the value of 8 which is not presented in the tuple, but it doesn't shows me an error. Okay, this way also we can remove a data from a set but without throwing an error. If you use a remove means if the data was not in the list means it will throw an error, but if we use a discard means if the data was not in the list also it will not throw an error, but if the data was present in the list it will remove that data from it. Okay, these are the two methods used in the sets to remove the values. Okay, okay. Our next data type is a dictionary. Dictionary is nothing but a collection of changeable and index value. Okay, it has a multiple. It allows multiple data types and it allows duplicate values also. And it is a changeable. And changeable means we can change the value of a dictionary. And it is indexed. The position of the dictionary is indexed. Okay, dictionary is created using a curly bracket. Okay, as I said, we can also create a dictionary using a curly bracket, but the difference is dictionary is a key and value pair. Okay, the key means the name of the value. Okay, for example, name is a key here. Okay, and the value for the name Suresh is a value for it. Name is a key and Suresh is a value for it. Okay, this way we can create a dictionary. Okay, we will see the dictionary with a practical example. For creating a dictionary, I'm going to call a new function called num3, num2, and I'm going to open my curly bracket and I'm going to specify the key and value pair. As I said before, name is a key here and the value for the name is a value. Okay, this is a key and this is a value. This is called a key and value pair in a dictionary. Okay. Next is 1 is a key and 2 is a value. It allows multiple data types. Okay. For example, the key also may be num with the value of 3. Okay. I'm going to print the type of num2. Okay, we add a dictionary. This is a valid method for creating a Python dictionary. Okay, what if I print the value of num2? It will show me like this. Okay, the Ganesh is a key, name is a key, and the Ganesh is a value, and here 1 is a key and 2 is a value, and a num is a key and 3 is a value for it. Okay, what if we may see that the output was in a dictionary. Okay, what if I want a value line by line, as we see in the list how to iterate a dictionary? We have a specific method in iterating a dictionary. Okay, before that we will see some methods using a dictionary. First method is accessing a data. Accessing a data using a dictionary. What if I want to access a particular name? For example, here I have a name key and a 1 key and a num key. What if I want to access a name key alone? Okay, for that I'm calling my num value and I'm calling the dictionary name num2 and I'm opening my square brackets and I'm passing the key name key name. If I print num, okay, I got the value for my key. Okay, I can specify the key here and I will get the output value for it, value for that key. Okay, this way we can access a single data from the dictionary. Okay, what if I want to change the name? I mean, what if I want to change the value of the key? For example, I want to change the value of name to another name, means I can simply do like name 2. Okay, I'm going to remove this. I'm call the dictionary name num2, and I'm going to pass the key that I want to change is equal to comma. Okay, if I print the num, okay, this way, I'm sorry, I'm going to print num2. This way I can change the value of the key also. Okay, I have changed the name to Ganesh to Kumar. Okay, this way I can change the value of my dictionary. Okay, and the next method is a looping through a dictionary. How to loop through a dictionary? Okay, in this we have a little trick over here. Okay, I'm using a for loop for I in, I'm remove the list. Okay, sorry about that. For I in num2, I'm gonna print I. Okay, same as a list, but we have get the output only for the key alone. Okay, we don't get a value for it. We got only a key alone. Okay, what if I want to value alone? Okay, I don't want the key, I just want the value. For that, I'm going to value for the key, means I can simply call the dictionary name, and I'm going to pass this in my square bracket, and I will get the value for my key. Okay, this way we can get the value for the key. Okay, what if I want both? I want both value, I want both value and the key, means what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a parameter to it. Okay, I'm going to add additional parameter. For example, I comma j, and I'm going to call another function called items. Okay, dot items. This is another inbuilt functions in Python, which will tell I'm gonna loop through the items of my dictionary. Okay, like that. Okay, it will loop through an item of the dictionary, and I'm gonna print the key and value. Okay, I comma j. If I run this, you can see that I get the value name and also the value for that key and value. Okay, we can't able to get the key and value for the items. Okay, this way we can loop through a dictionary and get the key and value pair. Okay, iteration is nothing but of using to get a value, single value of a list or a dictionary or a tuple. Okay, next method is adding an item. Okay, we have seen for changing an item. What if I want to add an item to a list? Okay, here I have a name Ganesh and a number. I'm going to add an age parameter to my dictionary. For this, I'm calling num2, and I'm going to call name. I'm going to create a key for it. It's going to be an age. It's going to be an age, and I'm going to pass the value for it. For example, it will be 24. If I print num2, okay, the age key has been successfully added to my dictionary. Okay, this way we can add a single value to my dictionary. Okay, what if I want to delete a dictionary, and what if I want to delete a character from the dictionary? For that, I can use a del function. Okay, del keyword. It's a keyword. Okay, the difference between function and keyword is a function will be like this. Okay, it will at the end of the name of the function we have to open a brackets. Okay, we have to open the parenthesis, and we must pass the parameters if it necessary. A keyword is nothing but of like this. It doesn't need any parenthesis, or it doesn't need to call. We can just specify the keyword and we can do our action. Okay, in this del is a keyword. Okay, del is a keyword. I'm going to call my dictionary name num2, and I'm going to specify what I'm going to delete. Here I'm going to delete the one value. Okay, this is irrelevant for this dictionary. I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to print num2 once again. Okay, you can see that one value has been successfully deleted from our dictionary. This way we can delete an item from a dictionary. Okay, done the data structures in the data types. Okay, we have covered list, and we have covered tuples, and we have covered sets, and we have covered dictionary. These are the four main data structures in the data types. Okay. Okay, we will continue our classes on next sessions. Okay, thank you.